Well, the basic principle that actually feeds into all the neuroscience around multitasking. So basically, they say we can't actually physically do two things at once because the brain can only concentrate on one thing. So what we're doing is we're switching from there to there and back and then back and then back. And every time we switch, there's a stress on the body, or there's a, let's technically called a cognitive load. So it takes some energy and some brain power to switch from that to that. So that's why doing two things at once is actually hard work and wears you out. But the same applies in the way you've just said it, that if I'm got to set myself up to do my emails and I'm switching back and forth every 10 minutes, the same actually applies. And the idea of batching things and doing them all together in one lot is actually proven to be faster and more effective and less stress on the body and less brain power. So your intuition around that's spot on with all the research.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to what we were saying earlier, which is just try and figure out what works for you. You know, you might do something that works for you that goes against all the conventional wisdom and theory and all out there, but that's fine. If it works for you, great. You know, who are we to argue? So, you know, this is a constant evolution. You just got to figure out, you know, what makes you happy, you know, and ask yourself this question every few months. Am I in alignment with what I should be doing? You know, do I feel good about what I'm doing? You might have set all these goals 2 years ago and you're just trying to get things done, but now it's become frustrating. It's become tedious. You're not enjoying it as much. It's almost a chore. You know, you might have set your goals to create all this content or record all these things or put out all these communications and newsletters and, you know, mucking around with websites. And you know all this stuff, Geoff. You and I go through this, right? And suddenly you find, hang on, why? I've lost my way. I've actually lost perspective of what I was trying to achieve because I'm so knee deep in all the doing bits. I've actually got lost. I'm lost, you know, and I need to go back to my vision and what is it I'm actually trying to do? Has anything changed in the last year or 2 years? Do I need to shift my focus? Do I need to get external help? Could I use another person's perspective? Because maybe I've just gone down this rabbit hole and I can't get out. These are good questions to ask yourself, and more often than not, we don't do that. And that's where a coach or a mentor can come in quite useful because they'll challenge you.
Yeah, I think that's a crucial point. I often say to people, you got to remember we made the thing up in the first place. So it's kind of my probably strength and weakness is that I'll keep checking in to see whether it's the right thing. And sometimes that means I give up too soon. But it's also I don't have the other problem of sticking at things blindly. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's like it looks like a good idea back here, but we got to check when we get to there that it's still a good idea before we try to take it to there. Yeah, and I think that's it's like there was a guy I heard talking about mountain climbing, and it's kind of like if you're climbing a mountain for the first time, you're standing at the bottom looking to get to the top, and you actually don't know how to get there. Yeah. And the thing is, what they do is they actually work to certain points and they go, we probably want to be at that point. We probably want to be at that point. We probably want to be at that point. Then we want to get to that point. You don't go straight up the mountain like that. No. But most of us try to go straight up the mountain like that. But the reality is, no, we actually need to go over there and rest on that ledge first. And then once we get there, we're going to have a different vantage point. And we need to check that that's still the best way to go. And I think that's a really powerful analogy around planning, that it's very much what they talk about these days as emergent strategy. Instead of setting the dial and just going regardless, you've got to keep checking in that something better hasn't come along or a better way to do it hasn't come along. And I think with the way the pandemic's kind of that classic thing, if anyone had their plan from 18 months ago and they're still pushing it, I'd be seriously questioning your sanity because so much has changed right now. There's so many other opportunities compared to the ones that were there 18 months or 2 years ago. So it is kind of crucial to check in. And as you said, I think it's part of either being in a mastermind group or calling colleagues or having coaches or mentors or having some network of people, because it's only when we're verbalizing or speaking or writing even what's going on for us that we actually get to check in with what is actually going on, rather than just blindly following along with some decision we made way back then when the world was different.